Hey, Pain to Power family. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to personally invite you into something deeper. Our inner circle community on Patreon called Kingdom Culture, where pain to power becomes personal. If this podcast has ever met you in a moment you needed it, helped you heal, challenged the way that you think, or reminded you that you're not alone, this space was built for you. You'll get early access to every Pain to Power episode before anyone else. Each week, you'll unlock exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, extended episodes, and raw behind-the-scene mini vlogs. No filters, no narratives, no manufactured moments, just real life, real faith, and real process. A side of me I haven't shared like this before. We gather weekly through live streams, book and Bible studies, Q&As, and real-time connection, because transformation doesn't happen in isolation. That's not all. Inside Kingdom Culture, you'll get early access to major announcements, upcoming events, and retreats, new merch drops, exclusive giveaways, and what's coming next before anyone else. At its core, Kingdom Culture is a real global community built on connection and growth. Iron sharpens iron. Your presence matters, and you are a part of it. So press pause, go to www.patreon.com/Kayla Cardona and step into Kingdom Culture today, and I'll see you there. Now, let's get into today's episode.
So Kayla, where have you been? You've had this show since 2019, and how has it grown with you?
2019, that's, I can't do math, 7 years? Oh, stop it right now. That's crazy. Yes, I've had it since 2019. Shout out to all the OG listeners that have been here since day one. Since I started my podcast literally inside of my bedroom. As an audio, that's it. Like, no, it was like before Zoom. Zoom became a thing, I think 2020. Yep, it started in my bedroom. It grew with me for sure. I just always had a passion for people and conversations and learning about people's stories. As you guys know, I have one, but we all do. And when I would hear other people's stories and testimonies, it really just helped me in life, really. How has it grown with me? I think it was Pain to Power started before Jesus, and I was in New Age. I think that was very clear. If you guys go back to old episodes, I was in New Age for like 10 years and, spiritual, but just different. You could say it was on the secular side. So there's a lot more like curse words and all the things. And I was thinking about just wiping all of that and starting fresh and new. For example, I have a tattoo right here. It's a black widow. Okay. And it used to represent get what you need and get out. Like, don't get attached. And that obviously that came from betrayal, hurt, pain, insecurities, from my past. And I almost covered it up. But then instead of covering it up, I got a butterfly. You can't really see, but I got a butterfly. I love butterflies. And it represented growth and becoming something new. But that was also before Jesus. And then right next to it, it's like my whole life is like right here on my wrist is, you can't really see, but this is a phoenix. And that was a representation of completely renewed, coming out of the ashes. And so I didn't cover it up. And what does that have to do with the show? There was no point in deleting the old and covering it up, because it's part of the growth. It's part of the different level ups. It was important that we keep the old and we just continue to grow together. But we all go through that, or at least I hope we all go through that, because we all grow in certain areas of our life, because as we know, if we're not growing, we're dying. That's really how this show has grown with me and hopefully with you guys that's been here since day one. So I appreciate you. Also, in between the seasons, you guys can tell that there's like been a really big break, and it was just really my life navigating through my career. There was a big break during while I was filming the TV show. There were just so many transformations in my life that I was unsure about coming back to the show. I wasn't sure if this was something I was meant to do. And the inconsistency kind of discouraged me a little bit. And I was like, I don't know if I'm meant to do this. Believe it or not, I was camera shy before. I like didn't want to get on camera. And then Zoom became a thing. I was like, okay, well, it would be great to put a face to the names of the guests that I'm having and things like that. And so it just kind of grew, I think also with my confidence. I think definitely after the show, however, that really like boosted my confidence being in front of the camera. Now I could do this all day. But also just learning who Kayla is. During those pauses in between seasons, I was going through growing pains, and sometimes that calls for me to just take a step back, protect space that I needed. As you guys know, on this show, I'm very open and vulnerable, and I want to keep doing that.
But what inspired you to create this new logo?
I was actually thinking about changing the name entirely. I wasn't sure about the word power, and so I was thinking about different names to represent the spiritual growth of my life. But then I really thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not the name, maybe it's just the logo, like the look. And so I was playing around with it. And before I created it, I saw the T being a cross. I know it's his show. So I wanted something to represent the fact that he saved me. I give it to him. This is your show. So I just wanted something to represent that.
What is the main meaning behind Pain to Power?
When I first created Pain to Power, it's in the name. It's overcoming the pain and adversities and challenges and all the hardest things possible, and how you overcame them and how you got to where you're at today. Every single person on this planet has a story. And so I thought putting a show together with just all testimonies and of course some solo episodes and things was just, I mean, I personally don't think it like gets better than that. Like, you're learning from people's experiences. You realize that you're not alone in everything that you're going through. Because when you go through hard stuff, at that moment, you feel like you're the only one. And isolation really tore me apart for most of my life. And so when I would hear other people's stories, it reminded me that I'm not alone. And having that basically conversation, that communion with other people, those connections, those relationships, that type of community, ultimately, we're all just trying to figure it out. Taking it day by day. I believe that people do want to get better and to grow. If this show could be a part of that in your life, then it did its job. I want it to be impactful. I want it to help someone push that growth, maybe even find Jesus, but also in every area of our lives, because there's so many different aspects.
Where do you see Pain to Power going?
I don't know. I will be so honest, because whenever I think something is going to happen a certain way or turn out a certain way, it ends up being so different. If it's God's will, so much better. I just want to steward well with what the Lord has given me. And that's this show, that's this platform, that's this influence. It just grew into something incredible. And I definitely hope that it does continue to grow. I'm just so thankful for you watching this right now. I'm so happy that you're here, and I hope you stick around. I know it has been a little bit inconsistent, up and downs and all the things, but it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. I can tell you that much. What I will say that I do see it is ultimately creating a community, I've learned, is one of the most important things you can have in your life. And so I see this show becoming more than just something you listen to or something you watch. It's creating a community of people, a family, really, to grow together, learn together, go through growing pains together, share with each other, and eventually do like group meetups. And I don't know. I don't, all I know is that I'm just saying yes, I'm just being obedient and just trusting that this is in God's hands. And yeah, I'm so happy that you guys are here.
Wait, before you go, if this episode resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast so you don't miss future episodes, and share this with someone who needs it right now. If you feel called to go deeper, join our Kingdom Culture community on Patreon. It's a place for real connection, growth, and faith, where this message turns into lived out community. This isn't just extra content, it's family. So join us at www.patreon.com/Kayla Cardona and be part of what we're building together. And if something stood out to you, like this episode, drop a comment down below. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Subscribe, follow, share, like, comment, and join Kingdom Culture today, and I'll see you there.